and Phil hanging out.
Oh.
Wait a second.
Oh. Oh.
Hey, we're live.
Oh,
That.
good. Goody,
God.
goody.
Hello and welcome to episode number 876 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, September 5th, 2023. I'm your host, Chris Johnston, and with me, as always, from Canada, Mr. Greg Seward.
Yellow.
Hi there, sir. How's it
Hi.
going?
It's you know what? I got a lot done today, so I'm pretty happy.
Oh, good.
That's great.
Yeah.
Excellent. It's good to
That's how it's going.
Like
get
what,
things
like
done.
chores?
Some chores and a bunch of work done on different projects and stuff. Like just got a lot done today.
Oh, good.
That's great.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
And joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
That's me. I'm back, baby.
Welcome back. You got a Hawaiian shirt there, kind of.
Well, no, it is.
Ultraman-y.
This is a legitimate
Yeah.
Hawaiian shirt.
Did you
Did
buy
you
it
get
in
this
Hawaii?
in Hawaii?
I purchased it. So I was in Hawaii 2 weeks ago. That's why I wasn't here 2 weeks ago.
You didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on a second. Hold on.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
He's gone. Okay.
Hold
He's
on.
changing. Phil's naked right now. For anyone who's not watching, we can just pretend since it's people who listen. Phil is
Yep.
flopping around,
I am flopping.
naked from the waist up.
Like a Magikarp.
There we
There-
go.
Oh, there it is.
What is?
There
what
we
is-
go.
What's happening?
I got
My
my.
straw hat
He's
is not
in-
going to fit over those things.
Full Hawaii mode.
Oh, man,
Wow.
that is a dad
That's-
hat.
There we
Wow.
go. Finally.
I like
Feel
the
like I'm
arms.
back on vacation.
I like the fingers crossed over the belly. That was nice. That was
That was
nice.
good,
yeah.
Oh man,
It's
we're
too
sitting on the
hot.
beach ordering Mai Tais now.
in your chaise
And I said
lounge.
no salt. No
Stand
salt on the
away
glass.
again
Oh,
in
too soon.
Margaritaville.
Too soon.
Oh yeah, that's not cool.
That's
Yeah.
no.
It-
That is
what?
not
It's a tribute.
cool.
It's a tribute.
Is it,
Okay,
though?
Let me get
Can't
out
get
of
them
this
off.
nonsense.
Yeah.
My hat string is all tangled up in my
Too
cord.
much. You were
Yeah, really managed
devoted to
get
the
those-
joke, but
Phil's really
the
struggling.
detriment of
It
your
was well
setup.
worth it. In the end,
Committed to the bit.
you can put
Feel
that
is
on my
too much.
tombstone.
Phil is nothing if not committed to the bit.
Thank
A
you.
little Too much.
What a prankster. Anyway, yeah,
well,
no, I was in the
welcome. You're in the great state of Hawaii.
I was in the great state of Hawaii. I was not in Maui.
Yeah.
This was a vacation we had booked several months ago, and
Uh-huh.
then tragedy struck,
Yes.
and we were we were a little hesitant to go. We were like, "Oh gosh,
I don't blame you.
should we not?" But
Right.
we were going to the Big Island, which is just Hawaii. But the tourist board, they were like, no. If you have plans to come and you're not going to Maui, please come and give us your money. So we were like,
believe-
okay.
Oh,
They've come out and said like one of the best ways to help is to continue to travel to Hawaii
Yes.
yeah.
because obviously they'll need as much cash in that economy as they can.
They got a lot of ours.
Yeah.
I can tell you that much.
That's good. So, had you purchased the Ultraman shirt in Hawaii?
I
or is this
did.
a
I
previous
was-
purchase.
I was we had gone to a little kind of shopping plaza while we were there, and they had a Hawaiian shirt store. I mean, technically all shirts.
I was gonna say,
So there
isn't
are
every store that's
Hawaiian
sells
shirts.
a Hawaiian shirt store,
Right.
Yeah.
But this one was, of the traditional, floral print kind of shirts. And we went in and they had a selection
That's
of licensed, there was like Marvel and Star Wars and such. But then
Yeah.
they had this fetching Ultraman shirt. So
Which you have to get.
it was
I
like,
like
it. You have to get it.
it was like it was there for me.
Yep.
There you go.
So I bought it and
Haven't taken it off since.
no. It's a part of me now.
I see.
Gross.
They say a little part of Hawaii goes with you, my friends. And in this case, it's the shirt.
There you go.
So what's up?
Video games.
I heard you guys had to bring in a ringer to
Yeah,
did,
some
Spaceman.
rookie named Victor Lucas.
Victor Lucas last
That
week.
was
yeah.
great.
That
Did
was
you
awesome.
listen to it?
Yes.
No, he didn't.
Not yet. No, I think it's
I'm
great.
surprised you knew.
Of course I knew. My gosh.
Oh, you saw the tweets.
That's
Yes.
what it was.
Yeah.
No, I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but I actually want to because I want to
Yeah,
hear
you
what
should.
Victor has to
Let's
say.
what Victor has
Victor
to
came
say.
with a lot of insight. It was really
Yeah.
cool.
Finally,
Yeah.
someone with something to say on this show, which is
Right?
an
Professional.
odd treat.
17 years. I knew we'd get it right someday.
Let's talk about some news. We got like 2 weeks worth of news that we can talk about.
Really? There's only 4 items on the list. That's 2.
But I
weeks
only
of
put
news?
4 items on the list. Yeah. First of all, is the announcement Nintendo made that Charles Martinet is moving on from voicing Mario. He's becoming the Mario ambassador.
Yes.
So Chris Pratt is the new official voice of Mario then?
No, we
Well, I
I
mean,
don't
why
think we
wouldn't you
actually
know?
know who is voicing Mario, but Mario
There you
Wonder and also the WarioWare game that comes out later this year are the first 2 games that do not have Charles Martinet.
Oh, really?
in, his normal roles?
He didn't record for those at all? Oh, I didn't realize
Yeah.
that.
No, apparently not.
Huh. Interesting.
So yeah.
So what do you think? Do you think we're just going to have someone doing their best impression of Charles Martinet?
I mean, that's
Because I
kind
mean,
of
it's
what
pretty iconic.
Robo
voice
Wonder
at this
sounds
point.
like.
Yeah.
That's
and I
exactly
mean-
what Mario Wonder sounds like. Yeah.
And no, I certainly don't mean any disrespect to Charles Martinet, who is an incredibly talented voice actor.
Mhm.
But the Mario voice is not the most difficult voice to imitate.
Yeah, but the thing is that he's been doing it for so long,
Right.
and he's such a ubiquitous character.
Oh, of course.
Mm.
He's across so many different things and so many different media
Right.
that even getting the inflection a little bit wrong, at least at first, I think is going to be noticeable.
Well, yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Like,
Of course it is.
so
I mean,
Sure,
when
whatever.
when Jim Henson died, and I forget the
Right.
fellow's name who took over Kermit.
right,
But at first it was a little jarring, but then
good Kermit voice, but it wasn't Jim Henson.
right, but then
You're right.
everyone was like, okay, this is what Kermit sounds like now, and
Sure.
Kermit sounded great, and then they I mean, I don't want to say recently, I think it was a couple of years ago, but they fired the guy who took over from Henson, and now
Oh,
there's like
really?
a third
Oh.
guy doing it.
Oh.
And
Hmm.
and then the new guy is just not he's just not good. The current
All
Kermit
right.
voice
Hmm.
is not good. But,
I find that's with when you do more I'm going to say recent,
yeah.
not really recent, Looney Tunes.
Oh yeah.
That's a thing,
Yeah.
right? Because
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, once you get into like the 90s, I guess. I don't know when they probably before that when the voices started to change over.
Well, Mel Blanc died in early
Yeah.
90s, if I want to say.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
and I mean, again, you can do good impressions, but you're not Mel Blanc. So
Right.
who was supremely talented.
1989 is when Mel Blanc
Okay.
died.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's people get used to new Mario. It's fine. I mean,
It will.
Oh, yeah, I'm
yeah,
sure.
it'll be fine.
Charles Martinet is probably
Hey, you know what? I'm glad he's stopping because he's retiring from the role and not because
That-
I'm glad
actually,
the news
we
wasn't,
don't
well,
know.
Charles has passed.
We do not know what
I'm
the
just glad he's
situation
not dead is
is.
what I'm getting at, CJ.
We don't
my
know that he retired from the role. He is being retired from the role.
but he's certainly still
in one way or
alive
another. He's
Yeah,
certainly still
again,
alive.
That's my point. I'm not
Is
talking
better
about who
than
knows if
Henson
it was-
deciding to quit doing Kermit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess you're right. Yeah. Well, anyway.
Yes.
CJ just wanted to go all dark.
I know, right?
Sorry. Jeez. Let's get into something a little brighter then, because we found out more about Mario Wonder, Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
Yes.
There was a Nintendo Direct devoted entirely to it, in part, I think, because it's playable at Nintendo Live,
Oh, yes.
What's the Nintendo
which
Live?
is happening now at it's sort of an offshoot
Oh, it's a pack
thing happening at PAX West. Yeah.
My next-
Nintendo's
my
own
next,
little event.
My next thing was going to
There.
be I didn't even know PAX was happening right now, but
Well, it is. It is happening right now, and Nintendo Live happening right now as well. And they did a look at that Nintendo Live 2023 mug.
It's a coffee mug.
Did you
The
have to go
Nintendo
to the
Li-
show to get that?
What's that?
Were you at the show?
I was not,
Okay, but you have the mug.
but I know people who work at companies that are partially owned by Nintendo.
Right. Familiar with that.
the the baseball team.
Yep.
Okay,
Nintendo
Yeah,
doesn't
so
own
they-
the
I know that.
Mariners
They
anymore.
showed off Mario Wonder in a direct, and it continues to look absolutely awesome. And I'm very
It
excited
looks-
about it.
Beautiful.
I can't wait.
Apparently, they when they were developing the game, they had no deadline on the pre-production phase of the game, which is interesting. Like no schedule.
Oh,
So they could iterate freely.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
I
like
think it's,
the famous quote goes,
what?
"A great game is great always, but a bad game is delayed and comes out too early."
I think that's how
Something like that.
goes.
Phil's
Yeah.
paraphrasing.
Yeah, of course.
It was Martin Luther King Jr., I think.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. The hell was
And
I
yeah,
gonna
the
say?
Wonder Flowers,
That threw
apparently
me
they came up with
completely.
over 2,000 ideas for what the Wonder Flowers will
Oh,
do.
wow.
in
They
the
came up with
game,
over
so.
2,000 ideas to rename acid.
Well, and apparently in each level has its own distinct effect.
Oh.
the
Mhm.
Wonder Flower. So
Yep.
that's pretty cool.
And Greg,
But it's all tripping balls.
in the Mario universe, it's called Touching Fuzzy.
Touching fuzzy,
So
getting dizzy.
don't bring your real world nonsense
oh
into
my
this.
god. It's just watching that thing is just like, seriously, like there's a lot happening here.
A lot going on.
These guys had a good time creating this game.
Is this
Oh, we're brainstorming.
yeah. Are these
The only
Wonder Flower
deadline
effects?
is
Is this kind of like
420. What?
is this like Eternal Darkness type stuff?
Uh
All I know is there's lots of pink elephants on parade in that direct,
lot of
so-
elephants. Yeah.
You pick up a Wonder Flower and it tells you that it just erased your save game and you start falling through the floor and things like that. Yeah.
And we did find out that the little flowers that talk to you, you can turn that off. Apparently,
Thank God, because
Oh.
those are annoying.
the talk. So
Yeah.
you don't have to be talked to.
And the voice, to me, the voice doesn't fit at all. It's a jarring voice, but that's just my
It is
opinion.
kind of a jarring voice. Yeah,
Let me ask you this.
it's Charles Martinet in a different role.
Yeah, it probably is.
Here's brought him back.
Here's your conspiracy
Talking
theory.
flower. Yeah.
So Charles Martinet retires for this game and they bring in a new voice cast
Yeah.
to voice the characters.
Mhm.
They start introducing background characters who talk more frequently. Is
Uh-huh.
this Nintendo slowly getting us used to the idea of more and more talking in Mario games so that
Hmm.
Mario games will slowly turn into fully voiced affairs?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Okay. We'll see. It just seems like a lot of voice related doings are transpiring around this game.
Potentially.
So
Potentially. So we found out it does not have online play like direct, but you can create like a friends room, or you can play online with others and you can see their ghosts playing the same level that you are, but you're not actually interacting with them. Although they
weird.
do have a very interesting point of interaction. You can drop like signposts for them and power-ups, and you can actually like revive other players in the level that you're playing. It's very kind of an interesting idea. They're incentivizing people not
So
to be jerks on the internet.
It's a Souls game now?
It's a Souls game suddenly. So yeah, I think that's kind of cool. I probably will never use it, but cool
Yeah,
idea.
I have no interest in the multiplayer capabilities of This
Yeah.
or really any Mario game.
But so you can
I'll play with
play
my kids.
local co-op
Mhm.
as well, and two of the characters, Nabbit and I
And
think
Yoshi.
maybe Yoshi,
Yeah.
also do not take damage. They
Oh,
can
very nice.
they can
Only
die
if they
from
fall.
falls. Yeah,
Okay.
but no other damage. So that's kind of nice. Like if you're playing with a younger gamer that isn't as used to the Mario mechanics, you can
Yeah.
have them play one of those characters and
Teach
still
that
have a
kid
lot
to
of fun.
cheat not just the game but themselves.
I love it. It's that
Video games are supposed
Yeah.
to be fun, Phil.
No, I disagree.
No? Oh.
If you're not being punished while you play, it's an
are
insult.
you really
to-
alive?
Is
Yeah.
that what you've learned from Starfield?
It's the way I play
release-
my games, and
The
therefore
release of Starfield has
is the way
changed
everyone
you,
should.
man. It's changed you.
Yep.
I see. Well, I'm
Okay.
very excited about
kidding.
Super Mario
CJ, I'm
Brothers
kidding.
Wonder.
It was a joke.
Okay.
It looks
Okay.
great. And I
Yeah.
yeah,
Great.
I can't get over the animation, the character animation still. Like watching
Oh,
it, they're
beautiful.
so emotive now. Not that they haven't been, but like now it really looks good.
It does.
Now, there's definitely more of a focus on using
very excited
animation
about
to add personality.
Yeah.
And they said during the direct something very interesting. You know, you have a world map there, and you can, but you can go off course, and apparently you can play levels in any order that you want. So if you're stuck on, if
Just for
you're
little
not
bits of
liking
it.
the current level, you can like go off the map and play the next level if you want.
It just seems like
Yeah.
those are kind of like little, like kind of separate areas of the map, right?
I didn't
no.
really follow it too
No,
much.
you can. It's as if you just go off the map and play the next couple
Okay.
areas.
I
instead,
thought maybe
out
there
of
was
order.
just, like you'd play like 1-1 and 1-2, and then like you'd come to an
No.
open spot where you could be like choose 1-3, 1-4, 1-5, 1-6.
No, you can go off.
But it
the
is just
map.
everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's a pretty interesting
Not bad.
change from the norm there. So yeah, a bunch of new enemies as well. It looks great. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
it does. It really does.
October 20th cannot come soon enough, and the
Yeah.
impressions.
No, I can wait.
posted- You can wait for that. You don't.
The end of the year is coming way too fast. We need to
It
we need to
is.
slow down a little bit.
It is, and there's so many more games left to release.
Like
Yeah.
we're
Right.
only on the second day of September, and I feel like the month is almost over.
Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about Atari for a moment.
Oh, the
Here.
fun is back.
Atari.
Oh yes, siree, but not under $50.
Oh, that
Yeah,
isn't that
boy.
not as nice?
It's maybe not as nice. They are releasing the Atari 2600 Plus console. This is a console that can actually play full-fledged 2600 cartridges and 7800 cartridges.
Yep.
And yeah, it's like the old wood paneled Atari 2600. It includes a joystick. You can plug in cartridges. It comes with a 10-in-1 cartridge featuring some of Atari's most beloved games like
Including
Adventure,
Dodge 'em.
Combat, Dodge 'em, Haunted House, Missile Command. Yeah, all the classics.
Missile Command, gonna say Missile Command on the 2600, extremely playable. It's a really good version of Missile Command.
It is.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, $129.
That's
a little
lot of
more
money.
expensive than your general mini consoles, but yeah, this is a pretty interesting development.
I do love if it was like $50, I probably wouldn't even have to think about it.
Right.
Yeah,
I love the 2600 aesthetic. I love that it's an HDMI console. I
Yep.
love that it plays the cartridges, although I do have a decent number of cartridges. I have no idea if they still work because I haven't had a working 2600 in years. But yeah, man, $130
$130.
for us Canadians. That'll be once
Oh.
you've got it shipped and
Yeah.
it'll be over $200. It's
Yeah.
too much. It's too
Yeah.
much.
But it's a nice little thing to have.
Oh,
It's
it's
super
very
neat.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to have one, but not for $200.
Yeah. One thing that you might want to get for $200. It was $129, by the way. But yeah, you're probably right. 200.
200 for me.
Sony announced that their remote play dedicated device, the PlayStation Portal, is coming out on November 15th, and it's going to be 200 bones in the US.
Cheaper than I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
You couldn't even buy 2 Atari 2600 pluses for that.
Cheaper than I expected it to be like 250 or 300, to be honest.
Yeah,
I
me
did
too.
not expect it to be under that 199 price point. But hey,
Well,
it
it's not
is.
under that 199 price point.
It's at the 199. under 200 bones.
That's how math works.
1 cent under 200 bones.
Greg, real quick.
Hmm.
I just checked Amazon.ca.
Mm-hmm.
The Atari is 149.
Canadian
Oh, that's
dollars.
cheaper than the conversion.
Oh, good.
Because 130 US is like 175 Canadian. That's still too much.
What I'm hearing is that you're losing money by not buying it.
Yeah. It's still too much. Like I said, if it was like sub 100, sub 100
Right.
Canadian, I would seriously consider it because it is a very cool looking little thing. I did hear there was a YouTuber who talked about this a little bit that the emulation that they're using in it, because I think it's just probably like a Raspberry Pi running an emulator
Mhm.
connected to a cartridge slot, isn't compatible with every game. But I didn't bother to look further and see
really?
what that would be. Yeah,
The list I've seen of incompatible games
it's probably
is
nothing important.
it's small.
Yeah.
And the handful of games I saw on it were games that I don't think I've ever even heard of.
There's a lot of that on the 2600.
Yeah.
I see.
And has it said? I know we were supposed to move on from this. Has it said if it plays ROMs, or do we? I'm sure it'll be cracked to the point that we can play ROMs pretty fast. But
I believe it's just set up to play carts.
yeah, that won't last.
Probably not.
It'll get hacked like everything else.
Well, aren't there? There are probably carts that you can get that.
Yeah,
EverDrive
I'm
type
sure
things or
flash
something.
drive cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Moving on. CJ.
PlayStation Portal,
Yes.
November 15th, $199. A lot of talk on the internet about who is this for?
That happens every time there's
Yes.
a
Who is this for? Who is
there's a-
going to buy this?
yeah,
And
device like
I'm
this.
here to say it's me.
Yeah.
Me. I'm the person.
anytime
gonna
a
buy
device
this?
like this gets announced, a remote play device, you don't have to ask that question. You already know.
Yeah.
If you're one of our
Nobody has
listeners,
to
you
ask
already
that
know.
question. If there are people who know me, they know that
Right.
it's for me.
Yep.
That's it. Who is this for?
Yeah.
Me, CJ.
The one and only.
Yeah, because I play on remote play a lot and love it. And I use the Logitech G Cloud a ton and play all sorts of games on it. So having a PlayStation 5 dedicated device that has all the DualSense doohickeys, I'm down. I'm down with that. A lot of complaints that it does not use Bluetooth audio,
Yeah.
but Bluetooth introduces lag
I was just gonna
and
say-
it's not great, especially depending on what headset you're using. Like there's so many different kinds of Bluetooth audio devices. Like I'm not shocked that they are not supporting it. You can still use 3.5 millimeter headphones. There is a jack on there for that. Or Sony has introduced the PlayStation Link technology so they're going to sell you wireless earbuds or a Pulse Elite wireless headset
For way
using
too
that
much.
technology. Yeah, probably for too much.
Although that Pulse headset looks nice.
It does, and apparently those will be usable with just the PS5
Right.
console itself. And Sony has not really supported Bluetooth audio. Even the PS5 doesn't support.
I
Bluetooth
don't
audio, so-
blame them. And I'm like seriously curious as to how many people use Bluetooth.
Yeah.
regularly because audio lag doesn't normally even bother me all that much.
Yeah.
Personally, but I've tried using Bluetooth to play games before, and it's
There's-
always just enough that it's jarring.
Yeah.
And so I'm not surprised they're not supporting it, and personally don't care because I wouldn't use it.
Yeah.
I would
Well, at
rather
least you
just
can-
plug in a set of headphones.
Exactly. 3.5 millimeter headphones solves that problem. So anyway, yeah, I'm excited about the PlayStation Portal. I've already pre-ordered one. Pre-orders went
It's
up in
really-
the US last
I
week.
really love the design of it. I think it looks really great.
I do too, although it gets a lot of hate on
It
the
looks-
internet. Imagine that.
Recent Player One podcast guest host Victor Lucas
Mm.
pointed out something that I think is totally true. I think it looks great, but it also looks like I wouldn't want to travel with it because it looks like it
Yeah.
would break
Yeah.
easily.
It does
It looks
look
like it could break easily. You definitely would need a case.
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah,
Sony will sell one, or PDP will be right
Yeah.
on that to sell you one. But
And I'm
yeah,
sure it probably doesn't break easily. That's not me saying that I think it's probably got terrible industrial design or something like that. But it's just because of it looks like it's got small contact points
Where the
between two sides of the
controllers-
controller.
Yeah.
connect to the screen. It looks
It looks
It
like
does.
it would.
yeah, It looks a little tenuous.
a little bit. Well, apparently
But I'm
the
sure it's
analog
not.
sticks are the same sticks that are on the PSVR 2 hand controllers, like that
Oh.
same size. So they're
Okay.
slightly
little
smaller
small.
than the DualSense
Okay.
sticks.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, an 8-inch screen. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm very
8
excited
inches
about
is
it.
all you need.
It's true. And once the audio stuff goes up, maybe I'll pop for some of those.
That's CJ
wireless
saying you
earbuds.
will.
Oh
We'll
yeah.
see. I use
That's-
my I use
That's
Air,
CJ code
AirPods
for I'm going to buy this.
for all my Apple stuff, and obviously Apple wants you in their ecosystem, right?
Mhm.
Oh, is that how they
But
do it?
if you that's exactly how they do it. And
Okay.
having a headset
Don't tell
to
anyone.
easily go between the PlayStation Portal and the PS5 would be very nice. But anyway, because I just use a pair of SteelSeries wired headphones that I plug into the DualSense when I'm playing.
I use the same
PlayStation
headphones that Phil uses to record our podcast when I use
see.
headphones on my PlayStation.
Very nice.
There you go.
Okay. Well,
Mm-hmm.
that's all the news that's fit to print. Actually, there's probably a lot more, but that's all I wrote down.
That's 2 weeks worth of news, everybody.
I
I hope
so
you
we can jump.
enjoy this roller coaster journey through time.
We can jump right into what you've been playing. Greg, I want you to kick us off. Can you do that for us, sir?
I can, and I'm gonna say there's 3 things that I've been playing, but 2 of them we've all been playing.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the one I can't, or the one that you haven't played yet recently, because it's 25 years old. But so I've been working on a Ridge Racer video.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
for
excited.
a while now.
I'm excited at this prospect.
I'm excited too if I get it done before the end of the year. And so I've been going through. I've been playing a lot of the Ridge Racer games. I've been playing all the Ridge Racer games.
Oh.
And I recently began, and by recent I mean like 2 weeks ago, same as our news cycle, began playing Ridge Racer Type 4 for the PlayStation 1. And I'm here to tell you, it's a pretty good game.
Yes, it
I've
is.
had trouble putting it down
Hmm.
because I'd forgotten how well it controls. It was the first Ridge Racer game to support the dual. It was the first one to come out after the DualShock. So real analog control. Yes, the previous games to that supported the Negicon controller, which is kind of its own, got its own learning curve. But
It
they did have
does.
analog control. But man, that game, when it came out, it was lauded for its graphics. And boy, does it hold up. It holds up so much better than so many other PlayStation 1 games.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
just, like, to the point that I'm sitting there playing it and my son walked in, my 14-year-old walked into the room. He doesn't have any experience with PlayStation. And he even said, like, that looks really nice.
Hmm.
About a PlayStation 1 game. It was weird.
Huh.
But yeah, I've been playing a lot of it, and I just, man, the other thing too, and I read this, I think it was on Time Extension, because I've been sort of going through, no, it wasn't Time Extension. I forget where it was. Anyway, going through different articles about the Ridge Racer series and everything, and I read a quote that I really love, and I don't remember who it was. I've got it in my notes, but they said something along the lines of, the '90s had this great energy about it. And there was no video game company who could capture that better than Namco. Like, there was just something about Namco games, especially at the end of the decade, with their CGI intros and stuff like that, and just there was something about the atmosphere in their games. And R4 is a wonderful example. It's just dripping with coolness. Is the only way to put it. Like, every screen in that game is cool. Even a menu. And yeah, anyway, I read that quote and it's like that's the best way to sum that up. It's just that Namco, late decade Namco, captured just the feel of the *90s so perfectly in their games. And Ridge Racer Type 4 is I think the best example of it. But I just wanted to say that the video, as all the videos I work on, is moving along rather slowly. Playing R4 didn't help, because I spent way too much time playing it when I could have been writing about it and working on it. But boy, oh boy, I'm enjoying it. I did test it today with the JogCon controller, which was the it's. I wish it was close so I could hold it up, but
that's the one with the little kind of paddle knob in the middle of it.
Yeah.
He's
gonna get it for us.
He is.
So that he can show it on the video.
The NEDGCon was the white one.
The NEDGCon was one that
twisted in the middle.
It twisted in the middle.
Yeah.
This is the JogCon.
Yes.
So it was released for R4. It's got a force feedback.
Really?
Jog. Yeah. It's called the JogCon
cool.
because this is similar to the jog wheel that you would get in like a Laserdisc player or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
it's basically got a force feedback steering wheel right on the front of the controller. So I was
That's
using that
cool.
today to try it out. It is very cool. I'm going to say functionally not all that great. But
I don't think I've ever played with that controller.
it doesn't support very many games.
I'm not shocked by that.
Like I think 4 or 5.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, you can use, it's compatible with everything because you can turn off the JogCon section of it. But anyway,
Sure.
that not so much, but R4, great game. Listen,
Yeah.
the only other games I was playing this week, let's talk about them because we've all played both of these.
Yeah.
So I ended up
Let's do it.
grabbing the making of Karateka.
Karateka. I always said Karateka.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
There's actually a section in the game about how to pronounce it. And the
Kara-
answer is pronounce it however you want.
Oh, my goodness. I can't make these decisions.
Pretty much what Wagner said.
We need a
It's amazing.
canon answer.
So so this is the first of Digital Eclipse's Gold series. Is that what that's what
Gold
it's called,
Master
right?
series.
Gold Master series.
Yeah.
Kind
Kind of the follow-on to Atari 50, which sort of started off
sort of
video game
prototypical. Yeah.
as documentary sort of style that they're continuing here.
And I mean, if you played Atari 50, you know exactly what to expect here because this is the exact same interface. It's a collection of timelines that you move across, some video, some audio, some
Images.
just images that you can scroll and zoom into. A lot of so the thing with Jordan Mechner, who's the creator of Karateka and Prince of Persia, among other things, those are probably his two most famous creations, is that strangely enough, even as a teenager, he journaled every single day.
Yes.
So there is a ton of archival,
A ton.
a
Oh, yeah.
ton. Like
Letters,
it's crazy.
letters
All of
and
it.
handwritten notes and design docs and
Yeah.
graph paper sort of doodles.
Because I mean,
everything.
he was a student at Yale when he created this,
Yeah.
but he was dealing with Bruderbund, which was based in California, I
San
believe.
Rafael, California.
San Rafael. So of course they weren't texting, they weren't
No.
emailing each other.
No.
It was all typewritten and handwritten letters, which there are a ton of
Oh,
in the making of Karateka.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating.
It is fascinating. I love this package. It's great. And they start off not with Karateka, with a different game
Death Bounce.
called Death Bounce.
Yes. Well, they really start off with his Asteroids clone.
I guess that's
Right.
true. They start
Yeah.
off with his Asteroids clone.
But to me, that's the fascinating part, is to watch the evolution of actually that game even more than Karateka, personally.
Mm.
Mhm.
I love that they focus so much on Death Bounce, and the trials and tribulations of him trying to create a knockoff of Asteroids. I mean, he
Yeah.
admits that at one point, but that wasn't weird. That was what the game industry was,
Right.
That's
for
right.
anyone who's played Casey Munchkin and all that. But yeah, I find it really fascinating because he has all those letters. When he finally submitted what was the beginning of Death Bounce to Bruderbund, seeing the back and forth and the feedback and the play testing feedback and all that stuff, really, really cool, and a great sort of insight, because while the game industry has changed so much, like, that element of it really hasn't. It's
Right.
now the team is not one guy, it's hundreds of people, but still, it's still
And the
along
fact
the same
that
lines.
all those correspondences are punctuated with, now here you can play
Mhm.
this first build, and now you can play this revised build that has
Yeah.
some fairly major differences. And it goes through,
Yeah.
there's like, what, 4 or 5 different versions of
Death
They
Death
have
Bounce?
all the
Yeah.
prototypes on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's
It's
really neat
incredible.
to see it progress. Like, it's
Yeah.
such a cool idea.
Yeah.
And you get that with the Karateka stuff as well, but Karateka, the mechanics of Karateka were more fully formed right from the start,
Right.
Yeah.
right? So,
And the other
were
cool
sort
thing
of
is you don't actually
improving
have
on
to
it.
play those games. You can just watch them.
can
if
watch
you
them.
want.
Yep.
Yeah. Although Death Bounce is kind of fun. And of course, where it's Digital Eclipse, they did modernized versions of
Yes.
both of those games.
Which, by the way,
Karateka and
I
Death Bounce.
love the modernized version of Death Bounce. Like,
It's
Yeah.
fun, right?
It's a lot of fun. It's a
lot
very
of
Mike
that.
Micah. You can feel Mike Micah in the gameplay.
Yeah,
So-
it's great. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious. What did you guys? So did you go through all of it? Did you go through the whole documentary at this point?
So far, I've just made my way through the first chapter, which is the Death Bounce.
Okay.
I still need to get
Same.
into the Karateka stuff.
Okay.
Same. I'm at the beginning of the Karateka stuff.
Okay. So for me, if I have any complaints, because I
Mhm.
do have a complaint about this,
Mm.
is they do the same thing with Karateka that they did with Death Bounce, where whatever prototypes existed, you're going to get to play them.
Mhm.
But again, Karateka was way more fully formed than Death Bounce was right off the bat.
Yeah.
But they also go through the trials and tribulations of porting Karateka to other platforms. And they actually talk to the programmer. I forget her name. Is it Lauren? Anyway, there's a lot of interview footage with them as well. And that's really cool because there's a lot of letters back and forth about that. But at one point, they talk about it was really a trial to get the IBM clone version up and running. And it's not in the game. You don't get to see it or play it, which I'm kind of bummed about. Same with, because the game also came to the NES.
Yeah.
The
that's not on there.
Famicom. I don't think it came out on the NES and Game Boy as well, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah.
And it's not in there. And it's like,
Yeah.
it makes it feel a little bit incomplete in my mind. Which is too bad.
I wonder if part of that was to hit that $20 price point. This is a $20
It could have been. Yeah.
game, and really it's a documentary, but it's focused on one title. And I wonder if
Right.
they would have had to license the ports from other companies that just made that sort of cost prohibitive.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But anyway, and the other thing that I really took away from it, you've already seen this a few times, but he's a very major figure, not only in the story of the game, but in this documentary, is Jordan Mechner's father, who's still alive. He's in his 90s. Francis, I believe, is his name.
And he did the music?
He did
that
the
right?
music. Well, he's a classic pianist.
Classic
among
what?
other things. In all seriousness, though, he's a fascinating guy
Yeah.
and brilliant. And my favorite part of this whole documentary, it's a handheld camera thing. I don't know why it's handheld, where they're sitting at his piano and they're just chatting about Jordan's his memories of Jordan, first of all, getting into creating video games to begin with, but then also, Karateka was a family affair. Like, it was, his sister stood in for the princess in the original rotoscoping videos, and his father did a lot of the running and and his mom was involved as well. Like, it's really interesting to listen to how basically the various passions of his family members and their full support is how Karateka happened.
Yeah.
And
It's great.
yeah, and listening to his father talk about it is so cool, because he's this super supportive, very, very brilliant man, and super supportive of Jordan. It sounds like he was supportive of him right from the start, because at one point they even talk about how he was skipping classes at Yale to work on this game. And his father says something along the lines of, like, I knew you were, but that's, it's important that people follow their passions. Like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like a cool guy.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
definitely I mean, not that I've watched a ton of it yet, but those bits are definitely highlights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Really good.
Plus, this is only underscoring the desire I have for so many other games to get this treatment.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Especially games that where we don't really know the history so much of, like
Mhm.
Mario, like anything Japan, right? Like,
So that's my only concern is, like, Mechner has so much archival material.
yeah,
It's not, I don't think you're going to find that with
Yeah.
with a lot of
It's
games,
probably not
a
common.
lot of creators.
yeah, you're probably right. Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but I do love even the fact that they went with Karateka as the first one and not Prince of Persia,
Yeah.
because Prince of Persia would have been the obvious choice.
but
Mhm.
that's got to be
Much more
coming, though,
popular
right?
game.
This is
I
sort
would
of a
think
proof
so.
of concept
Hopefully,
yeah.
yeah.
of
So,
future installments.
yeah.
And in part, I mean, I don't have a ton of nostalgia for Karateka
Same.
on its own.
Yeah.
Like,
Same
the
here.
version that I had for the Apple II was like a cracked version from some, BBS, whatever. And I never bought it. But yeah, I don't have like a huge amount of nostalgia for it. I bought it in large part to support the efforts that Digital Eclipse is making to do this, but also to
Oh, hell yeah.
learn about Jordan Mechner's process making the
yeah.
game, because I knew that it was an influential game. So I bought it more about the documentary than playing Karateka, which I think
and that's
is the
really the
value of
beauty
it.
of this.
Like, if
Yeah.
you're at all interested in the history of video games and the history of sort of this style of game, like early 80s computer games that were very influential to other creators, like, you'll definitely want to pick this up in part for
Yeah.
that. You don't actually have to play any of the games, you can just watch them, but
Mhm.
there's a lot of just super cool information in this package.
And you're still getting, you're certainly getting $20 worth of
Absolutely.
documentary, even if you are like,
Yes.
even if you don't
Yeah.
care
Play the game.
particularly for Karateka as a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is just a fascinating piece of history in this medium that we enjoy so much.
Yeah.
It's true.
No, I'm super excited for continuing Gold Master Series
Absolutely.
installments. So, but I'm very happy with this first one for sure. So,
And I think one of the nice things about it is, it's because it's Mike, Micah, and Chris Kohler and Stephen Frost and everyone over there, and they've between Atari 50 and this and the Cowabunga collection, they've built up so much goodwill, I think, with
Yeah.
fans and certainly with other developers, that I think companies or individuals will be a little more prone to maybe digging a little deeper than they might have otherwise if they know, like, oh, you want to give our game the the Karateka treatment.
Right.
Yeah, let
Yeah,
me go through some boxes in my attic and see what I can find. That
Right.
kind of thing.
yeah.
I remember us saying last year when we were talking about Atari 50, especially in our Game of the Year episode, that we
Yeah,
were really excited to see what Digital Eclipse did next.
yeah,
And I mean, they didn't disappoint
no,
with this
It's true.
one. So
absolutely not.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of disappointments,
You knew this was happening. Yeah.
we've all been playing Starfield.
We have
Starfield.
CJ. You're really
Skyrim in
enjoying it.
space. CJ is really
I
enjoying
am.
it.
I am really enjoying it a whole lot,
Wow.
and I don't think I necessarily expected to. But me and Bethesda have sort of this, like, I never played Skyrim. I never played any of this sort of Elder Scrolls stuff at all. But I loved Fallout 4 and I like Fallout 76, and thought, what the hey, I'll give this Starfield game a try. And guess what? Turns out Bethesda really only makes one type of game. They're all very similar to each other. So if you like one, you're very likely to like the rest. And it almost makes me, as soon as Skyrim hits Game Pass, because it will now, that
Yeah.
I'm kind of shocked that it isn't on there, actually. But
I think it's still selling.
it probably is still selling, yeah. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this one. In fact, you could turn on the radio stations from Fallout while playing this, and it would almost be the same type of game. Like, I'm just really really enjoying it, despite its flaws, and it has a bunch of flaws.
Boy, does it ever.
And of all the talk pre-release that this is the least buggy Bethesda game, has no bugs, etc., I've run into a few already. And a lot of UI inconsistencies as well. But I am really enjoying the game quite a bit. I know it has, of course, caused a lot of system warring and review discourse on review scales and everything like that.
It's one of those games you're not allowed to score low.
Right.
It's one of those games you're not allowed to score low, even if on your review system, your quote unquote low score actually means it's good.
Yeah.
Right. But if it's a 7 out of 10, you can't get it out of people's mind that means a C.
Yeah, that dude from IGN who gave it a 7 out of 10 is getting ripped to shreds.
He's getting ripped to shreds, and that's their review scale. 7 is good. Like,
Yeah.
And it also brings up the point, like, why have a 1 to 10 review scale if you're only going to use the last 3 numbers of the scale? Like, there's no point in that. I think the game now, using the letter grades scale, is probably the easiest to understand.
That's what I kept saying.
Still, it is the easiest to understand, but
That's the way
Yeah.
people see it in their heads anyway.
I mean, people, exactly, they see it in their heads that way. You may as well, conform to that.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I'm enjoying it a ton. What about you guys?
I really want to like it so much. I really do. I genuinely want to love this game.
But
You don't.
But I'm still trying. I'm still trying.
Well, one of the things that I ran into early on is that the game really does a shit job of explaining anything.
yeah,
That's my problem. That's my big
Like-
problem with it.
I know that in the past couple of years there has been a sort of backlash against tutorialization, but damn, this game needs it. Like, needs
It
better
does.
tutorials and better ways to find out what you're looking at, like in the interface. Like, it's just a lot. You can get lost in it. It's like,
Absolutely.
and be overwhelmed by it and just want to put the controller down and shut off the system and be like, I'm done.
absolutely. I've done that at least 4 times already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started it up. I went through the the little intro section. Minor spoilers. No pun intended. Where you're on the mining facility.
Yeah.
Minor spoilers there, friends.
Mm.
But I went through that whole little bit. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. I'm digging this. Because I love me outer space sci-fi aesthetics. That's why this is one of the reasons why I love those Star Wars Jedi games so much, is just being able to wander around in sci-fi type worlds, and like this is absolutely my aesthetic jam.
Yep.
Spent a good chunk of time in the character creator, making my.
Did you make yourself?
I did not.
You know what? I was pretty excited that I could make a fat dude.
There you go.
My dude's bald and fat. Pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I made a space
seen.
lady. I named her well, you know what? It's the same
Space lady.
my default name when I'm playing a lady in a game like this. I did this when I tried playing Fallout 4. Lauren Ipsum is my my space lady.
Yep.
Okay.
Love it.
Yep. And I was all excited.
It's a good name.
Right?
Yeah.
I did the little that whole little section. I get my ship, I take off.
Yep.
And then I'm just like, well, what do I do? I mean, I knew what I had to do. I knew my next goal that I was supposed to do, but it's like, okay, how do I get to where I need to go? Okay, where do I, and I'm looking at maps, and I'm looking at menus and menus within menus, and
There's a lot of that.
And I just was like, I don't know what to do. And I went, and we were chatting on Slack, where I set my ship down in an area where I thought I was supposed to.
Yeah.
But apparently I was just a smidge over on the map. So I didn't land near the base where I was supposed to, but I landed in an area where there were unexplored bases and geographical anomalies. So I'm running around to all of them. I eventually found some base where I was getting just slaughtered by dudes and robots.
And like,
when you said robots, I was like,
Slack, I was like, where is he seeing robots?
I know. I was like, where are robots? Are you playing on hard accidentally? They added robots to that.
Well,
little area?
I was playing on normal, just because that's the
There's
default.
your first mistake.
That's the default.
I mean, I bumped it down. Make no mistake. Again, I had no idea there was a difficulty adjustment until CJ mentioned.
Yeah, unlike most modern games, they didn't even throw up the
right. There's no like
difficulty select.
What setting do you want? You have to go into a menu within a menu within a menu.
Yep.
To find that after the fact. So I absolutely dropped it down to dummy difficulty. But I was just a little off to the side and found some base that I clearly was not supposed to go to. And then even when I'm trying to run away, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get out of this base. Suddenly there's like 3 robots jump out of the base and they're chasing me down across the wasteland. So I finally was able to get far enough away or something where I could like fast travel back to my ship and eventually found where I was supposed to go. But
you realized your faux pas.
I did. And then I realized that I wasted like 3 hours of gameplay, made absolutely zero progress.
Yeah.
But I really want to like it. I do. But we'll see what happens. I'm going to keep playing it.
There are some very, very cool set pieces.
Yeah.
And what I find is the problem is that the game is presented in that Bethesda style, RPG style, where most often the conversations that you're having with characters, you're looking at like a head-on view of their
They're
face.
always staring directly at the camera.
Staring
even when they're talking to each other.
Well, that changes a little later. Have you
Well,
done any of the ones
maybe.
where you have to sit down at a table?
No,
Okay, if you
I
do
don't
some
think
of
I'd be able to
those,
figure out how to sit down at a table.
you
I'm just
put your
kidding. I've
cursor
accidentally
over.
sat down multiple times because I pressed A when I was near a chair.
You're
and
looking
I
at a
didn't wanna
chair,
sit
yeah.
down.
You're looking at a
Anyway.
chair and you press A and you'll sit. And yeah, it uses that on occasion you're sitting at a conference table or a table in a
Okay.
restaurant or something, and two characters are across from you and kitty corner and yeah, talking to each other, and there is that. But I sort of feel like modern game design
Is
has
better than
evolved
this.
away from that, and this feels rudimentary. Like the visuals feel
That's
so
the thing.
modern, and then the
Yeah.
presentation of it feels so old timey. It's
Yeah.
just like witnessing a radio play about about this. Like,
I think that's the best way to describe it, and that's been my issue with it. And I mentioned this in our Discord, but I mean, you know, it wasn't to be taken literally because I know Bethesda games have improved since Oblivion on the
Hmm.
360, but they still feel relatively the same.
Hmm.
And it's like you described, like I feel like, especially from a UX and UI perspective, we've made so many leaps since
Yeah.
2006 that it feels like Bethesda didn't keep up. And like
No.
what you were just talking about, Phil, I had a similar situation happen, although it was it was later in the game. It wasn't that first like colony area or whatever, that
Right.
first station that you had to go to, where I just ended up landing in the wrong spot. And
Oh,
I had no
really?
idea how I did it. But then the more jarring part of it is that when I realized I was in the wrong spot, I went to the map and I clicked on I happened to click on the right spot and I just fast traveled there,
Yeah.
which is how the whole game runs. And I think from a sort of a philosophical outlook on the game, that is one of my biggest problems with it, is that the whole point of this is it's supposed to be this massive 1,000 planet universe that you're supposed to explore. And you go into space to explore, except you learn really quickly you don't even have to go to space. Like I've realized as I'm playing now, when I want to go to another planet, I just fast travel right to the planet.
Oh,
I
really?
do that too. I got to tell you though, if you're saying this is a drawback, this is one of the features that I love the most about it, because I don't want to waste time with any
Yeah,
of
but that's the thing.
any of the
To me-
going to and from.
to
I want
me,
to
the
just get to the
space-
next story.
To
bit.
me, I think it's a massive shame that the space travel in this space game about space travel is just
I'd like Sea of Thieves more if there
It's
weren't all that
annoying.
stuff where you have to stay on a pirate
Right?
ship.
where it's like, I'm so glad I don't have to do it, but you should have to do it. That should be the whole point. That should be the whole point to me,
It
anyway.
sh- yeah,
But there's nothing to do when you're in space. And
there's
you never get any.
nothing to do.
And like, if you see a
Guess
planet
what?
over there, you will never get closer to it.
the emptiness of space, it's pretty damn empty.
It's pretty empty. Yeah. And like it, even again, little things like if you jump and you get to a planet you're supposed to go to, like, I need to go to, because you end up the missions that I was on, I went to Sol at one point,
Mhm.
and you need to go to Venus, I think, or I don't know, one of the planets. And it's like, okay, I jumped to that planet, so I'm now outside that planet. I could boost until God knows when, and you will never get closer to that planet.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? You have to fast travel down to the planet. You have to
Yes,
fast
because there
travel
are
everywhere
multiple-
in this game.
There are multiple locations per planet potentially,
Sure.
and then you can also decide to land elsewhere, and you get the procedurally generated terrain.
Right. It just
So you
it
don't have
doesn't
to do
feel like
that.
in a game where it seemed like they really talked up the idea that you're exploring the cosmos.
Yes,
You don't explore the cosmos in this game. That's not at
true
all
in
what it's
large
about.
part.
It's
in large
it's
part, that's true.
it's meant to be played by jumping from relatively small space to relatively small space.
Which honestly,
And
I
there's
like.
a ton of loading in the game too, which drives me crazy.
There's a ton of loading. Yes, I mean it's not unlike playing a Fallout game. Like anytime,
And
you
that's
enter
kind
an
of what I'm
interior
getting at.
space,
Right.
it loads.
And that's kind of what I'm getting at. And I'm coming off of, playing Zelda for the last 3 months,
yeah,
where the only time it loads is when you're going in and out of a shrine or going to the depths.
yeah.
Otherwise, it's just,
Mm.
But anyway, but the other thing was, getting back to mistakenly going to places you didn't want to go to or sitting down in chairs you didn't mean to sit in. It's so funny to me that so much of the game requires you to dig levels deep into menus to do what feel like the simplest things, but then
Yeah.
you can randomly land in the wrong spot. There was another mission I was doing where it was cool, right? Because I was out in space, and I want to do this stuff out in space where there was like a satellite beacon near one of the planets in the solar system, and then there were like these 3 ships that were part of like some zealot group, I think, like some crazy religious group, where it's like, okay, we want to get close to the beacon so we can read it, but we don't want them to see us. So, power down your shields, power down all your weapons, just put some power to the engine and creep towards there. And then they shouldn't notice us. It's like, this is cool. This is what I want out of this, right? Yeah, I'm in. I'm all in on this. So I do all that. And then I must have hit A to do something. And all of a sudden I'm landing on Venus. It wasn't even the planet I was near. I was landing wherever I come from. And I'm like, what is happening? I don't even know how I got here. I wasn't even near this planet. But because of the way the game is set up, like, it didn't even show that I was traveling anywhere. It just black screen, I'm landing. I'm like, what just happened? I don't even know where I am now. And I had to look it all up. And it's like, I don't know. It's so janky. It feels like a bunch of, I don't want to say half-baked because it sounds mean, but a bunch of, like very average, different types of gameplay all mashed together in a way that doesn't gel to me.
Yeah. Well, here's what I think happened. Bethesda obviously makes games that are very popular, and even though they're janky, they haven't seen a need to fix any of those things.
No.
It's like, because a lot of people, there are people who like the CRPG style because it's convoluted like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it's sort of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they don't have to fix it. Like,
they don't have to fix it.
Instead, on a controller, you have to hold down a button instead of tapping it, or like you have to do a button combination because on a computer, this is, right clicking your mouse instead, or something like that. Like, I was doing the ship builder for the first time this afternoon, and you want to talk about janky on a controller.
Right.
Oh my God, it's so hard.
Really?
Like, it is not simple. And obviously I know, like, having a 3D editor in a game is not an easy thing, right? But there were so many questions I had when bringing this thing up. It's like, okay, well, how do I buy new parts for this ship?
They really don't tell you how to do anything.
They don't tell you how to do anything. Normally you get to a new menu and they're like, this is what this menu does. You can customize your ship. Good luck.
Right. And then if you're lucky, that tutorial box might disappear. Or it might just stay there forever.
Right.
I had that happen to me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, or like, I want to use the bounty board or like the mission board for the Freestar Rangers. It's like, I only know where that is in one location. Like,
well, luckily you can travel light years in the space of a 2-second loading screen.
It's
so
the 24th century, and no one's got mobile phones. Like, there's no app for that. What?
There's no app.
Like, it just feels so, I don't know, like analog with some of this stuff. And another thing that I have heard a lot of people talking about is that there are no mini maps. So once you're on a planet and you're in a city, there's no map that you can go like bring up to refer to. Like, you really have to bring up your sort of left bumper analysis view to be able to see the icons on the map or where anything is.
So the first time I went to New Atlantis, which is like the first city you go to in the game,
Yeah.
and you go and you talk to Sarah, I think is her name. Who like
Yes.
leads the whatever the crew is that you're the people you're dealing with. She joined my party.
Constellation.
Constellation. So she joined my party and we're walking around New Atlantis, and I kind of wanted to explore, but I also just wanted to get back to like the train or whatever it was that would take me out to my ship. Could not for the life of me figure out how to do it. So then I just started to wander around, and there's like a big spire there that you can walk halfway up, by the way, if you just decide to walk up it, which I did.
Hmm.
Somehow I got to an area where we were on like a walkway that was surrounded by water, and I didn't know the controls, and I jumped into the water. So she jumped in after me, and then I got out of the water, but she had disappeared. So then at this point I was like getting irritated that I didn't know where I was supposed to be or what I was supposed to be doing, because she was randomly shouting out like, we should go see blah blah blah, and I'm like, I don't know who that is, I don't know where that is, I don't even know how to get out of this damn city. So now I'm in the water, and I'm like, I'm just gonna see where I can go, see how open world this really is. So I went and I found like a waterfall, and I jumped off it thinking that I would die before I hit the water below. Didn't die. And I was like, well, now I'm swimming. So I'm in this big water area now, and there's no way to get out. There's no way to get out. But there's another drop ahead of me. So I'm like, well, I'm going to swim that way. And I went and I dropped off into an even bigger water area. But still, I couldn't leave at this point. The only way to leave was going to be to fast travel. So I'm kind of screwing around. And then I see something moving way off in the distance. I'm like, whoa, what's that? So I start swimming towards it. It was Sarah. Like dolphin swimming towards me. But then she still, which is the other thing in these Bethesda games that I find is so funny, is that I don't blame the actors because they're reading thousands of lines with, I'm guessing, very little context.
Yeah.
But the way the lines are delivered because of that they don't fit the situation 90% of the time.
Yeah.
So she started going into whatever dialogue she was supposed to have with me, but like it's ridiculous because she's up to her eyes in water while she's saying it. And then the best thing is we got into a conversation tree, and because of the fact we're in water, as we're having this conversation, she's slowly floating away from me. So by the end of it, and the depth of field is trying to keep up with her, I took a picture of it. By the end of it, she's a little speck in the horizon. Everything's blurry, but we're still having a conversation. It was so funny. And then the other thing, another bug that I've run into is that even now that I'm back to Constellation headquarters and we're having one-on-one conversations, the radio voice filter is over her voice no matter what. So like she's having a conversation with somebody standing next to us, and they just sound like they're standing next to us. She sounds like she's coming through a tinny radio speaker the whole time.
But that's just her voice.
There's a lot of that.
There's
a lot of that in this game.
She swallowed a radio, and now that's just what her voice sounds like.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't play a lot of Bethesda games. I haven't played a lot of Bethesda games since probably Oblivion was the last time I put any real time into one. Maybe Fallout 3. It's so interesting to me because on our Discord, you and I were playing it starting on like Friday, and I was complaining a lot because I'm a grumpy old man, and I'm seeing so many people respond like, oh, it actually sounds a lot less janky than I expected. And I'm like, really? Like, this is good, apparently.
I know,
compared to Bethesda games.
That doesn't really gel with my experience in like Fallout 4 or even 76, where it's like I'm seeing a lot of the same issues that I saw in those games, but so it doesn't seem like less janky. It seems differently janky. if that can even be a thing, right? Like,
yeah. Anyway, Starfield.
There it is.
I'll play a little bit more of it this week, but I don't know.
Now that I've gotten into customizing the ship, and now that I kind of know what I'm doing in there, I'm
I've-
eager to play around more with that. And if anybody knows me, they know I don't like creating like settlements or like building shit in a game. And I
Mm.
actually like did create a settlement in Starfield
Mm.
so far. But again, it's one of those things that doesn't explain. And there are
Right.
all these systems like Research Lab and the medical table where it's like they don't explain anything about how to use either of those things. Or
And their
like the
menus
customization of the
are
spacesuit.
a condensed mess.
It's a condensed mess, and they don't explain how to use or
Yeah.
do anything with any of those tables. It's just
Yeah.
like, okay, I guess I'm on my own with this.
I think they missed a real opportunity with space travel. I mean, I get that we're talking about systems that are light years away from one another, so of course you don't want to be able to do that in real time. That's crazy. But
Yeah.
you know, especially when you start getting people on your ship. Like right now, pretty much everywhere I go, I've got at least one person on my ship with me.
Yeah.
But while you're in, the other thing that I really wish they would change is while you're flying in space, you can't get up from the captain's chair. You can't get up from the pilot's seat at all and just walk around your ship.
No. You have to be landed.
What they
with that.
To me, what they should have done when you're going to a place you haven't been to, I'm not saying take fast travel out altogether, but when you're going to a place you haven't been to, right?
Mhm.
Rather than a 5-second animation or just a black loading screen, which is what we're getting most of the time now. If you got people on your ship, maybe make it so that you have to, I don't know, jump to hyperspace or something. And there's actually an animation there. And maybe that gives you an opportunity to get up and walk and have conversations with the people on your ship, or use whatever table you don't know how to use is there in your ship, or even just go to the bunk, which I think it's really funny that the first ship you get is clearly meant to hold up to 4 people, but there's 1 bunk.
Yeah.
Or go sleep and you know what I mean? Like just be able to get up and do something during like the hyperspace, and at least that way you'd still feel like you're flying through space for a few minutes.
I
have
think
a
they should do
larger
it
ship
desert
now, and it
bus
doesn't
style.
it has no beds. My larger ship had
What?
has no
Just
beds.
you just take a nap on the floor.
Yeah, it's got
Grab a pillow.
2. It's got like kind of like a sick bay with 2 cots,
Oh,
but
there
you
you
can't
go.
sleep in those. You can't sleep in those.
They should do it desert bus style, where you lock
Yeah.
in your destination, warp factor 9, and then you got 28 hours.
You have to actually wait in real time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went back and
I have unlocked some more bits of the space combat. So they another very confusing thing is that a lot of mechanics in the game are actually hidden behind perks and skills.
Yep. I noticed
Mm.
that.
So I was watching a stream of somebody using the boost pack, and I was like, shit, how do I get a jetpack? I don't know. Guess what? It's hidden behind a perk. You have to unlock the perk first, and then you
Really?
can use a jetpack. And it's like, oh man.
That's the
Like, so I've
same
been
as
playing-
targeting systems on the other ships.
Oh, really?
That's right.
You
Yeah,
can- you
like
can
you
target
can use a
specific
sort of
systems.
VATS style targeting system in the
Mm.
space combat, but you have to unlock it first.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even then I unlocked it. I'm not actually sure how to do it yet. I've gone through one fight in space, but it
Oh
was
my
against
God.
like 3 ships after
Uh,
I unlocked it. So I was like, well, shit, I can't use this system now. Like I'm in a major fight here with like 4 other ships around me. So I have to wait until it's like a one-on-one battle, and then I can maybe figure it out.
But it's funny because there's early mission. I just did a mission where the whole point is to knock out someone's engine so that you can dock with them. Because the whole
Yeah,
idea
but
is
it
that
did
if
it
you can knock out an engine without destroying the ship, you can dock with it.
It did it
Hmm.
automatically because it was part of the
Exactly.
story. It did it
Exactly.
itself.
So it's like, what the hell? Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. a lot of that
I
stuff
was going to
doesn't make
say,
any sense.
going back to the dialogue real quick. I know we have to move on here because we're already over an hour, but talking about the lack of sort of context in the dialogue feeling really jarring. So the first the place that you meant to go to, Phil, to find the leader of the red, I don't know, the red pirate gang or whatever the heck they were
yeah, I
called.
forget what they were called.
Red Pirate Gang.
So you can,
The Crimson Fleet.
The Crimson Fleet. That's it.
That's who they're
I
called.
don't give a shit.
Red
Um,
flag.
you get to the roof, and he's there, and you start talking to him. But you can talk him out of fighting you.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is what I
don't know
did.
if- that's what I did too. I
Yeah.
loved the transition to that because I'm talking to him and he's clearly aggressive, right?
Mhm.
He's like, "What the hell are you doing here? Get out of here!" Blah blah blah. And it's like I tried to persuade him not to fight at one point, and he didn't buy it.
Right.
No, I'm gonna murder you if you. But then I did another persuasion roll, basically, and it went from I'm gonna kill you. Okay, we'll leave.
Yeah.
It's just like what? What's going on then?
Uh,
I guess I succeeded. Anyway, yeah, Starfield.
Yeah. There's another thing to keep going on this
We're just
with,
gonna keep going.
yeah.
research. So you'll research and you have to have collected some substances or whatever to pour into the research. But occasionally your last research roll will have gone so well that it will just give you free resources to finish up like the rest
nice.
of it. And it's like, okay, that's cool. But I kind of wish it would have explained that it does that. Like, because yeah, game does not explain anything. And you kind of have to. I found that I watched some streams of people who knew what they were doing, and
I
learned
hate
a
that
lot.
becomes the way to learn things in a game.
Yeah.
I know.
really,
I hate
really
it too. It
do.
should not be a replacement for a good tutorial. It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But I did learn a lot by watching other people play and the mistakes that they were making. And early on, I was like picking up everything. Like if it wasn't nailed down, I would pick it up, and then suddenly I was encumbered.
Mhm.
And
Oh
So then I
God! Don't even get me
stopped.
started.
I stopped picking up everything, and now I only pick up ammo and health items, really. And in case I'm tracking an item that I need for research, which is another thing you can do, and you could do that in Fallout 4 and 76 as well. Then I'll pick up that stuff. But yeah, and then I filled up my ship's cargo hold. I have no space in the cargo hold. And
Jesus.
that's why I got into the ship customization, because I was like, can I buy a bigger cargo hold? And yes, you can, but the planet that I was on, the vendor didn't have the right kind of cargo hold for me.
I hate when that happens.
I hate when that happens too. It's terrible. So like I couldn't get an extended cargo hold. I had filled it up. So then I went to this dogfight and killed like a half dozen enemy ships. I couldn't pick up any of their stuff.
Oh, like a
because my
spaceship
cargo
dogfight.
hold was. I did a spaceship dogfight.
Okay, I was very confused.
Spaceship
Not
dogfight.
like an NFL quarterback dogfight.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, he mentioned he went to a dogfight, and then he was like, and then I killed, and I was like, wait, are you killing the dogs?
No.
Is that? I grossly
anyway.
misunderstood. Oh,
Yeah, I still have the
dogfights work.
small cargo hold, which I bought a new ship in order to get a bigger cargo hold, and then I filled that one up, and now I want to build, and now I want an even larger cargo hold.
Sounds like
I guess I have to go
you're
to a-
working for your cargo hold, man.
Man.
Guess I have to go to a different space system, but there are also different brands of all the ship parts. It's kind of crazy. Like once you like get into
Yeah.
that, it gets a little nuts. But
Yep. Let the
I'm
online
enjoying the
debates
game.
continue.
I'm enjoying the game, but I would say to anybody, your enjoyment of previous Bethesda games is going to weigh on how much you
Yes.
like
Yeah.
this one. And
Yes.
especially if you know the systems at play in those other games, you're going to be fine. If you don't, you're going to be lost.
Mm-hmm.
And you might have to watch a couple of videos to figure out what you're doing. And since the game is so system intensive, if you don't like those systems, you ain't going to enjoy the game. Like your enjoyment of it is entirely how you navigate all of the systems that it puts in front of you,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting. I thought this was going to be different from other Bethesda games, but nope, it's not.
That's all I've been playing. At the
Okay.
hour
Wow.
20 mark.
I've been playing a lot.
I
Jeez,
guess
Greg.
we can go to Phil now.
Hurry up, Phil. We're running out of time.
Well, I picked up this new sci-fi game called Starfield. If you've
Uh-huh.
seen this one.
The
Uh-huh.
Starfields.
Wait, there has been a lot of games coming out lately.
So much.
There's so many games and like good games too.
It's true.
I haven't like, and I mean it's to the point where, you know, I haven't even picked up what is Cyber System Overload, the Jet Set knockoff.
Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
What is it?
Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Rush
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk. I haven't even picked that up yet. I was like really looking forward to that. It's just I got too much on my plate. Is that even good?
I've heard good things.
Everyone's just talking about Starfield and Baldur's Gate now. So I don't even know if this Jet Set game is
Gabbo
good.
this and Gabbo that.
How come no one's saying Jesus this and
Jericho.
Jericho.
Jericho that?
There you go. Actually, it's worship this and Jericho
Oh,
that
whatever.
Greg.
This and Jericho.
Come
I don't
on,
Yeah.
man. You're gonna embarrass us at SimpCon this year.
It's an entirely different. It's
I
not
think
related to
that's-
Simpsons.
Don't look that
though.
up. Don't look that up. We all know where that's going.
We're gonna be rolling into SimpCon. Eat my shorts, dudes.
If you write it home.
Oh God.
Look, keep your fingers off my butterfingers, dudes. They're gonna give us the side eye. You know what I did pick up though is I broke down. This was kind of a last minute impulse purchase.
Oh,
I saw it was
Yeah.
coming out.
You never do that.
I never ever. But I picked up Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon.
it was only because of that Rainn Wilson commercial, right?
Did Rainn Wilson do a
Rainn Wilson did a live action Armored Core 6 commercial.
really?
Yeah,
That's-
because there was also a Carl Urban,
I saw the
Uh,
Carl Urban one.
and
Yes.
then Rainn Wilson is.
I didn't know Rainn Wilson did one too.
Yeah.
Was he in character? As
in
Dwight?
a character, not Dwight, no,
He
but
was in
in
a
an
character.
office. In an office,
Okay.
yes.
He was in an office?
Yes.
So I mean, functionally he was doing a Dwight.
Functionally. I
bit.
suppose.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. No, well, you know, I was interested in Armored Core since the reveal of it. I played a bit of the first probably 2 Armored Core games back in the day, but haven't touched it since. But I was like, yeah, this looks like it's fun. I'll give it a go. And I picked it up, and I am having a grand old time with it. I'm really enjoying it.
Nice.
Ah,
Again, it's got that sci-fi aesthetic that I love so. And it's a From Software game. So it's kind of stupid difficult. But you know, it's the gimmick behind it is of course the mech customization. And that's what you got to fiddle with in order to overcome the challenges. So I was played the first handful of missions. I was doing great. And then I got to a level called something like the Wall. And coincidentally enough, it was at this level where I sort of hit a wall in the game because I could not you're presented with this, you know, you go into a city, and at the edge of the city is a gigantic wall that towers over the entire city. And you have to infiltrate the wall and get past it. But of course, the city is crawling with enemy mechs, and the wall is lined with giant cannons that are shooting at you. So you got to
Bunch of kids who don't need no education.
absolutely. I listen to the Rolling Stones. I know their music.
Right?
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. But it was,
Well, I
it
find
was
that
very
so funny
difficult.
whenever-
You once you kind of clear out the city, there's a giant mech mini boss before you actually get into the wall, and that thing kept killing me. And you gotta start completely over from scratch because this game does not like checkpoints that much. So I was getting a little like a little stumped. But then what I did, I went into the customization screen. I switched out my mech legs for a lither pair. It gave me a little faster speed, an extra bit of height to my jumps, made me a little more agile. Switched out some weapons to some found weaponry that was more effective against the enemies I was encountering. Boom. Next try, plowed right through the level, no problem. So
Nice.
yeah, it's a
There you
fun
go.
game. The combat feels really good, which is great because so even when I'm getting my butt handed to me, I'm having a good time because the combat feels really satisfying. You have a weapon in each hand, you have weapons on each shoulder, and you can trigger them all individually. And it's it's fun. I can't imagine you guys would enjoy it, but I am having a very good time with it. So
I see.
Nice.
I'm glad I
I
picked
hear
up.
it's difficult, like Soulsy difficult later.
That would not surprise me if it does really ramp up later. But again, by that point, you should theoretically have a zillion different if you're continuing to buy, because when you earn money, which you can then spend to purchase new parts for your mech, and it's again very customizable. You get legs and arms and bodies and heads, a zillion different weapons for each of your weapon points, and then you can even more kind of like internal stuff. Oh, you can buy different energy cores or different computer control systems, and that all affects different stats and the maneuverability and how much the weapons you can use and stuff like that. So it's fun if you like that kind of thing. If you're a fan of this type of game, you'll like this game. So having a good time.
Now that's a good review. If
Absolutely.
you think you'd like this, you should try it.
Armored Core fans rejoice.
If you like this, you'll like this.
Yep. Absolutely. I miss professionally reviewing games because you get to weave
My
gold
God,
like that.
I imagine being dragged into System War BS on social media.
Oh my goodness.
Reviewing a game. Like I am so glad to not be in that business anymore.
Let me tell you, very disappointed with Starfield. I'd give it a 4 out of 10.
Whoa.
But
Okay, there,
I'm very
Sony fanboy.
excited.
Wow.
Because Sony
Phil.
has said that they're
Sony
going to be
pony.
sending me one of their new PlayStation Portal streaming devices.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Sony Pony.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sony ponies?
Xbots
Is it still
and
Xbots?
Sony Ponies.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I knew Xbots. I hadn't heard Sony ponies.
Yeah. It's still a thing.
I have seen the the poor people who have given Starfield like a 7.
Yeah.
Which again, not a bad score. But I have seen accusations being tossed around that the only reason that they are scoring the game that air quote low is because Sony is paying them.
It's amazing how some things have never changed.
Which
We
seems
used to
like
get stuff like that all the time.
a poor use of Sony's marketing budget
Yeah.
to
True.
pay an online reviewer to give slightly above average scores
I got my checkbook right here. Give me a number.
to an Xbox game.
It's true.
But people, man. Hey, you know what? I didn't put this on the list, and I'm not going
Yeah.
to talk about it long, but I'll mention it real quick. What's that game called? Dracula's Savior, Dracula Fighter.
Vampire Savior.
That's the one.
No,
Vampire
that's
Survivors.
it's a fighting game from
That-
Capcom.
Which one? No, not the Dark Stalker game.
No.
Not the Night Stalkers.
Vampire Survivors.
Is that what it's called?
Yes,
So that one just got they ported it over to the Switch.
they did.
And you guys liked that game quite a bit.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I was somewhat lukewarm on it.
Mhm.
They brought it out on Switch. I decided to give it another go.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it a bit more as a portable game.
Ah, yes.
Because when we were playing it the first time, I was playing it on the Xbox.
Mhm.
It's interesting
was like-
because I'm pretty sure that game gained so much momentum because it was considered like the perfect Steam Deck game.
Yeah, that's exactly why.
Like,
Yeah,
that's actually one of the reasons it's so popular.
It came out like right before the Steam Deck came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I can totally see now. Because just sitting there, like if I'm watching some TV show that I'm not super invested in,
Right.
I can just sit there and move a little dude around. I mean, it still is just cookie clicker, but instead
Oh,
of
absolutely.
clicking a
Sure.
mouse, you're just moving a guy around.
Yeah.
But it's definitely more entertaining as a portable game. So
I played a lot of it on Remote Play, Xbox Remote Play,
there you go.
and Game Pass.
Yes.
Cloud streaming.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I've been playing, other than
All right.
Starfield and the incredible making of Karateka. I don't think
Incredible.
we spent so much time talking about that disappointing Starfield game.
Wait,
That waste
is that what we're
of
calling it?
silicon and programming
Silicon.
time.
We bought digital versions.
I mean,
Yeah.
that waste of
Karateka.
storage space.
There you go.
I'm kidding. I'm exaggerating.
Of
A little.
Yep.
But let's not let that overshadow how fantastic making of Karateka is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. What about you, CJ? What else have you been playing besides what we've already talked about?
Well, I'll only talk about one other game here.
Okay.
Maybe we'll talk about more next week. But I've been playing Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars came out last week, and it's on both Game Pass and PS Plus. It's
Oh.
part of the PS Plus game catalog if you have extra premium. So it was released into those programs. So I've been playing it on PlayStation.
Okay. And this is
The
the
RPG, right?
This is like
It's
the
an
kind of
RPG.
16-bit style.
Yeah, I played a few minutes of it, but then
From
I
the
just
creators
didn't get a
of
chance
The
to go back.
Messenger.
Yeah.
Oh, is
Yeah,
it?
really
Is that
nice.
right?
Yeah.
I did not realize it was the Messenger people behind this.
It is, and I really like the battle system. It is a turn-based, sort of very old school RPG. I guess it takes a lot of its inspiration from Chrono Trigger, down to I think it has one of the composers did a bunch of the music for it. Yasunori
Oh, really?
Mitsuda. Yeah. Actually, I don't think did Mitsuda do Chrono Trigger? Maybe.
I don't remember.
Anyway, a Square composer did music for it, but I am really enjoying it. I like the battle system because it's so old school. It doesn't have a million systems to learn. It's very easy to learn it,
Mhm.
and it does have a little bit of sort of Mario RPG mechanics in that if you time a button press with your sword or your staff or your pots and pans or whatever it is you're hitting the enemy with, if you time that with the hit, it gives them a little extra damage. And then if you are on the defensive, you can time your hits to an enemy attacking you and block a little bit of the damage. So kind of cool.
So it's Mario
Uh,
RPG.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of that, like I just said. Yes, borrowing a little from that,
Yeah.
and Yeah, it's good. The story's good or interesting anyway. I don't know if you saw some of the discourse online. Jason Schreier mentioned that the English just isn't really that great, and it's got a lot of grammatical problems.
Oh, so it really does feel like it came from the 90s.
I know, I know. It
That's
does have a lot
That's
of
not a
problems
problem.
with
That's
that.
authenticity.
I guess so. I guess, but RPGs have come such a long way, and so you kind of expect a certain level, and it definitely does
That's how
not
I
hit
feel
that.
about Starfield.
They didn't.
Oh.
They didn't hit the level that we're at now.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of like weird grammatical things. So
I played a bit of it. I played like an hour or so of it.
yeah,
It's really pretty.
it
Yeah.
is really pretty.
I
Yeah.
really like the way it looks.
The animation's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks good. I'm one of the things I really like about it is that after you're through the intro, you can equip some different almost like Final Fantasy 16, where you can like equip different power-ups, or like I forget what they're called, they're artifacts or whatever that influence the game. So one of them that I have will give you like a little burst of energy to show you that your timing was correct.
Hmm.
On an attack or a defense. Normally, I guess it doesn't do anything like that, which is kind of strange. It doesn't show you graphically that you correctly blocked or correctly hit the button timing. And then the other one is that it automatically heals your party after each encounter. So I turned that on too to make it a little easier. So I don't have to worry about managing healing items outside of battle, or like using magic to heal my party outside of battle. That is a lot of like busy work and sort of a waste of time, I find. So
I think it's
turned that
hilarious. You
artifact
pumped
on.
like 14 hours into Starfield and you just said that.
I know. I know. That's absolutely
keep going.
correct. That's absolutely correct.
I agree with
Not that
everything you're saying.
Not that I wouldn't welcome all manner of sort of user interface upgrades to Starfield, because I would, but they're just not going to happen. But yeah, Sea of Stars. I'm through the first like mist trials. I become a celestial warrior or whatever the kids are studying to be in this game.
We all knew you could do it, CJ.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying it. Been playing it on the G Cloud through Remote Play. It looks beautiful in a sort of portable.
To it. Yeah.
Portable context looks great. So it's out on everything, even the Switch. But yeah, I've been playing Sea of Stars and Starfield and all manner of other games. But that's it. So I guess that means it's time for posts.
To end the show?
Oh, is it time to end the show?
It's like we're almost in an hour 40. I mean, I don't know. Are there any good posts?
Do you need the song, CJ?
I don't need the song.
Wow.
Oh.
You can do the song. Go the song.
Twiddly diddly day.
This is gonna be another 20 minutes.
Twiddly diddly.
Because you got to do that now for every single social network.
Yeah.
For Threads, Blue Sky.
Mastodon.
At least Blue Sky, there's that Daytona song.
Blue skies. Blue skies I see.
Okay, let's do this one from your friend and mine, Mike, who
getting on the threads, getting on the threads.
Question apropos of nothing. What are your feelings on collectathons in games? Do you do them? And if so, only if they're short/easy? Do you think rewards for completion should be powerful to the player to reward those who do them, or basic/cosmetic to limit the fear of missing out? I like it when they're short and easy.
That's why you love Donkey Kong 64 so much.
Right. Donkey Kong 64 might be the reason why I prefer that. I don't love collectathons in games anymore.
Yeah.
But I will do them if I can do other things in between, and if the journey to collect all the things is still enjoyable.
I think that's the key thing for me. I was never a big fan of collectathons, and
No.
Rare went way overboard in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Mhm.
Well, by
with
the
all of their
time Star
games.
Fox Adventures came out, they were just too. It was too.
Yeah.
It was too much.
Well, Donkey Kong 64 was, I think, one of the worst offenders.
Oh yeah.
you're right.
All
you're
those
right.
different colored bananas you had to go back and find. But
I still did it.
I know you did. But it really depends on, like CJ said, the journey. If it's a game I'm really enjoying a lot,
yeah.
and it's not too much out of the way, like if a large percentage of whatever you're supposed to collect kind of gets collected naturally
Mhm.
in the course of playing through a game I'm really enjoying, then I'll go back and
Sure.
clean everything up for sure. You know, I
Right.
mean, I've been doing it a little bit in Zelda, so it depends on the game. If
Yeah.
the collectathon is the point, probably not.
No.
I probably
Yeah,
won't do
I
that.
don't want to do the thing in a game where I'm focused on collecting Korok seeds for the next 30 hours
Right.
or doing shrines for the next 30 hours. Like I might do, tonight I'll load this up and do shrines
Yeah.
for 2 hours or whatever. That's fine. I don't want to like only focus on one aspect of the game
Right.
for that long. So, okay, we can end it now. Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1 Podcast on the Twitters, on the Blue Sky, on the Mastodon.socials, everywhere, pretty much. And Discord. We also got the Ask P1P channel where you can put your questions for us and we'll answer them if I remember to read from their next show. And let's see. Oh, we have an internet website, player1podcast.com. You'll find our contact information there. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Seward.
Probably
You'll
not.
find Generation 16 episodes as they happen, and you'll find show notes and links to all the things that we talked about there as well, and a link to our Discord server where we can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on Spotify.
Yeah.
Yep. You can like us on Facebook. You can visit our Discord.
Yep.
You can. That it? That's where we're at
That's all now.
nowadays.
Yeah.
You can watch video archives of our show on the youtubes.com/P1 Podcast, or you can watch us live most weeks on the YouTubes, the Facebooks, the Twitch.televisions. Typically, we record our show on Sunday evenings at 5:30 specific time, but follow one of our many social media outlets to find out where we or when we will be broadcasting live next. Please. Why don't
That's
you?
right.
Why not?
Tell you what, if you like what you've heard and how could you, head over to patreon.com/P1 Podcast through a few shekels our way. We suddenly got to rebuy a bunch of old Atari 2600 games
Yep.
to play
Yeah.
on our probably pricier than it should be.
Well, in
Certainly
part,
priced-
If you're gonna get that
uh,
thing, you should at least get Centipede.
Patreon support is why we were all playing Starfield.
That is
5 days
true.
early.
that is very
So,
true.
And the making of Karateka.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
so-
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So, I don't think we're not getting the Atari thing right. None of you guys are getting that right.
No.
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 Not at that price. That's
No.
that's too much.
You know what though? Your Patreon funds do, of course, help support our show. Like again, they get us some games for us to play on the show on occasion. Also keeps the stream going and all those little backdoor costs that come from running a podcast. And I'll tell you what, if you are a Patreon supporter of the $5 tier,
Cheap.
you gain access to a special weekly bonus episode that we record right after this, where we play games track-wise, having fun doing all the stuff we can't do on the regular show. CJ,
Yes.
do we have a game this week?
We do have a game this week. It is from hacker alias Falcon 030, who has sent us a Jeopardy based on games not included in Atari 50 : Lynx Edition. So we were talking last week
Lynx?
a little bit about the Lynx,
Oh
the
God.
Atari Lynx,
Yeah.
and this is a Jeopardy all about the Atari Lynx.
Now I did play a fair amount of the Lynx,
Me too. Yeah.
so I'm all for this.
I definitely played
Yeah,
a
you've-
Lynx once.
Yeah, no, I still have my Atari Lynx, so
Nice.
I welcome this. I can't wait to play this Lynx game.
I'm excited to be a
Okay.
part of it.
I'm excited to watch you win this one, Phil.
I mean, we'll probably play as a team. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, probably.
CJ.
look at that.
Yeah.
Why do you want to turn us against each other, CJ?
Yeah. Why do you want to make it worse?
Ugh. You know, we're gonna go in a second here, but on our little vacation,
Yeah.
we did the resort we were staying at had one of those like dolphin encounters where you can swim with dolphins,
Yep.
And we-
Cool.
and we totally did that,
Yeah.
Cool.
and it was neat. I got to hug a dolphin. I don't know if you guys have
Aw.
ever hugged a dolphin.
I have.
Only my dreams.
I hugged a dolphin. And you know what was terrible though? The first time, because the dolphins, they swim up, the trainers, directing them to do all this, but the dolphin swims up and you get to kind of pet it.
Yep.
Yeah. And so CJ, you've touched a dolphin.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Greg, you have not.
No.
To my great shame, my first thought when I touched this dolphin, this beautiful animal,
Yeah.
What would Ed Annunziata think?
my first thought was, oh no, I'm thinking about what it tastes like.
You've probably tasted it mixed in with tuna.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
that's true. But that was my not even that. Oh
Oh.
boy, I wonder what this tastes like. But uh-oh, I'm thinking this thing I probably shouldn't be thinking. So I was at least self-aware of it.
And then you went to the restaurant at the resort, and they
Yep.
had
Mm.
what is
The
that
ones-
called? What is dolphin called?
The ones
Chef's
that they can't
surprise.
train as quickly.
Jeez. Dropout stew.
Dropout Stew. I went to high school with a guy named Dropout Stew.
Oh, there we go. Mahi mahi,
That's tuna.
isn't it? No.
Or is it?
Or is it? I don't know. They can
Is
put
it?
fancy names on anything.
Exactly. No, it was very lovely though. We'd have a grand old time. So, CJ,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
Well, you're very welcome.
By the way, don't do a search for.
I told you.
Don't do a search for what?
I'll put the picture in our Slack that came up.
What was the
CJ
search?
can't
you-
even say what he searched for. He can't get it out.
No.
This is
I
amazing
searched for
radio,
dolphin.
by the way.
Dolphin, you
Still
You can't even
do
get it out.
Can we end the show? Let's end
Dolphin
the show.
what?
searched for dolphin you can eat.
Dolphin you can eat?
No. No.
That's
yeah.
not Is that a
I'm never getting
thing?
out of here.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. Anyway,
Gregory,
Yo.
thank you very much
Thank you,
For-
Phil.
for CJ, what the hell, man?
Oh my
CJ just
God.
posted a horrifying picture.
Jay?
I said don't search for it.
Well, yeah, don't search for it, but here you are posting
Now
a
it's
picture.
now it's in the algorithm. Now I'm just gonna be seeing ads for shady dolphin eateries on Facebook for the next
Oh.
4 days.
Oh dear, that's probably not even photoshopped, is it?
No.
Oh,
No.
oh, buddy. Why you? I
Mm,
gotta burn this hard drive. Oh my.
All right.
Anyway, did I already thank you, Greg?
You did.
Oh, good. And thank you. That's you, of course, our wonderful, wonderful audience. Every single
We're
one
really
of you.
sorry.
Please take care of yourself. Take care of
Mm.
any aquatic mammals that you might know and care about. Your loved ones, your family, your friends. Do what you got to do to be safe. Be kind to yourself and all of our friends in the animal kingdom. And we hope to see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, dear friends.